age 7, your relationship with money was already damaged. Right now, there's a number in your head. A number you believe you deserve to earn. A number that represents your ceiling, your limit, your enough. You didn't consciously choose this number. It was installed in you before you could even understand what money was. Think about the last time you checked your bank balance. That feeling in your stomach, whether it was relief, anxiety, shame, or satisfaction, that emotional response was programmed into you decades ago. In the next hour, you'll understand exactly how this programming happened. More importantly, you'll learn how to rewrite it while you sleep. And it all starts with something that occurred before you could even speak properly. But first, let me tell you about a 7-year-old girl sitting at a kitchen table. Whether you're fully focused right now, or simply letting this play in the background while you work, rest, or drift to sleep, your subconscious mind is listening. The gentle frequencies woven into this audio are designed to quietly reprogram your relationship with money and abundance. So there's no need to concentrate. Just relax. Let the words and frequencies do their work. Your mind will absorb what it needs. The 7-year-old girl was named Sarah. She was sitting at her family's kitchen table, coloring in a book, when her mother hung up the phone and began to cry. Sarah looked up and asked what was wrong. Her mother, overwhelmed by a conversation about mounting bills, said something that would echo in Sarah's mind for the next 30 years. "Money is the root of all evil, sweetheart. We don't need much. We're not that kind of people. We don't need much." Sarah absorbed this message completely. Not just the words, but the emotion behind them. The fear, the resignation, the subtle pride in struggling. Her 7-year-old brain, operating primarily in theta frequency, the same brainwave state we enter during deep meditation and REM sleep, recorded this moment as absolute truth. 30 years later, Sarah earns exactly enough to get by. No more, no less. She's intelligent, hardworking, talented, but something invisible holds her back. Every time she gets close to earning more, she sabotages herself. She turns down opportunities. She undercharges for her work. She feels guilty when she has too much. Sarah doesn't remember that moment at the kitchen table, but her subconscious mind does. It's been faithfully executing those instructions for 3 decades. This is how money programming works. And this is why traditional approaches to changing your financial life often fail. You can't think your way out of subconscious programming. You can't motivate your way past it. You can't willpower your way through it. But you can reprogram it. And the most effective time to do this is while you sleep. Section 1. The Architecture of Financial Programming. Let's start with a fundamental truth about how your brain works. Every experience you have creates neural pathways. The more emotionally charged the experience, the deeper the pathway. The earlier in life it occurs, the more foundational it becomes. Your brain is essentially a pattern recognition machine. It's constantly scanning your environment for familiar situations and responding based on past experience. This is incredibly useful for survival, but it can be limiting when it comes to growth and change. Dr. Bruce Lipton's research on cellular biology reveals something fascinating. 95% of our daily behavior is controlled by subconscious programming. That means only 5% of your financial decisions are made by your conscious, rational mind. The other 95% are automatic responses based on programming installed primarily between birth and age 7. During those first 7 years, your brain operates predominantly in theta frequency, between 4 and 8 HD. This is the same frequency experienced during hypnosis, deep meditation, and REM sleep. In this state, your brain is extraordinarily receptive to suggestion and programming. Think of it this way. Your subconscious mind during those early years was like wet cement. Every experience, every emotion, every message about money left an impression. By age 7, that cement had hardened. Your financial blueprint was set. But here's what's remarkable. You can return to that theta state as an adult. And when you do, that cement becomes malleable again. Consider the messages you received about money in those early years. Perhaps you heard money doesn't grow on trees so often. It became your internal mantra. Maybe you witnessed your parents arguing about finances and learned that money equals conflict. Or perhaps you absorbed the belief that wanting money makes you greedy or selfish. These weren't just casual comments. To your Theta state brain, they were absolute truths about how the world works. And your subconscious mind has been faithfully following those instructions ever since. Dr. Joe Dispenza's work on neuroplasticity shows us that the brain doesn't distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined ones. When you repeatedly think about not having enough money, your brain strengthens the neural networks associated with scarcity. When you imagine abundance, you strengthen those networks instead. But here's the crucial point. This rewiring happens most effectively when your brain is in specific states. And one of the most powerful states for subconscious reprogramming is the theta frequency we naturally enter during sleep. Your brain cycles through different frequencies throughout the day. Beta waves, 1330 Hz, dominate when you're actively thinking and problem solving. Alpha waves, 813 Hz, appear during relaxed awareness. Theta waves, 48 Hz, emerge during deep meditation, creativity, and the early stages of sleep. Delta waves, 0.54 Hz, characterize deep, dreamless sleep. The transition from alpha to theta, that drowsy state just before you fall asleep, is particularly powerful for subconscious programming. Your conscious mind relaxes its guard, but your subconscious remains highly receptive. This is why many successful people report having breakthrough insights or solutions to problems just as they're falling asleep or waking up. Thomas Edison famously used this state for creative problem solving. He would sit in a chair holding a steel ball with a metal plate on the floor below. As he drifted into the theta, his hand would relax, the ball would drop and wake him, and he'd immediately write down whatever insights had emerged. You can use this same principle for financial reprogramming. But first, we need to understand why your current money programming is so persistent. Your subconscious mind isn't trying to sabotage you. It's trying to protect you. It's following the instructions it received when you were most vulnerable and impressionable. If you learn that money causes problems, your subconscious will protect you from money. If you learn that rich people are bad, it will keep you from becoming one. If you learn that you don't deserve abundance, it will ensure you never have too much. This is why affirmations often fail. When you say I am wealthy but your subconscious believes people like me don't have money, you create internal conflict. Your subconscious usually wins this battle because it's operating from a much deeper level. The key is to work with your subconscious mind, not against it. And the most effective way to do this is to return to the state where it was originally programmed, theta frequency, during sleep. Section 2. The Neuroscience of Sleep Learning. Sleep is not a passive state. While your body rests, your brain is extraordinarily active, performing crucial maintenance functions that determine how you think, feel, and behave the next day. During sleep, your brain consolidates memories, processes emotions, and literally rewires itself based on the day's experiences. This process, called neuroplasticity, continues throughout your life. Your brain is constantly changing, constantly adapting, constantly creating new neural pathways. Dr. Matthew Walker's groundbreaking research on sleep reveals something remarkable. The brain doesn't just consolidate existing memories during sleep. It transforms them. It strengthens important connections, weakens irrelevant ones, and creates new associations between previously unconnected ideas. This is why you sometimes wake up with solutions to problems you couldn't solve the day before. Your sleeping brain has been working on them, making new connections, finding new patterns. It's also why traumatic memories can sometimes become less emotionally charged after a good night's sleep. Your brain has processed and integrated the experience. But here's what's particularly relevant for financial reprogramming. Your brain is most receptive to new information during specific phases of sleep. And with the right approach, you can influence what gets consolidated and what gets transformed. The sleep cycle consists of several stages, each with distinct brainwave patterns and functions. Light sleep, stage 1, is dominated by theta waves. Deep sleep, stage 3, produces delta waves. REM sleep shows a mixture of frequencies similar to waking consciousness. The transition into sleep, that hypnagogic state where you're not quite awake but not yet asleep, is particularly powerful for subconscious programming. Your brain is producing theta waves, your conscious mind is relaxing its control, but your subconscious remains alert and receptive. Dr. Georgi Lozanov's research on accelerated learning discovered that students could absorb and retain information much more effectively when it was presented during this theta state. His Suggestopedia method used relaxation techniques to induce theta frequency, then presented educational material in a specific rhythm and tone. The results were remarkable. Students learned languages faster, retained information longer, and showed increased confidence in their abilities. The key was bypassing the conscious mind's resistance and speaking directly to the subconscious. You can apply this same principle to financial beliefs. When your conscious mind is relaxed and your brain is producing theta waves, you can install new beliefs about money, wealth, and abundance. But it requires the right approach. Random positive affirmations played while you sleep won't be effective. Your subconscious mind is intelligent and discriminating. It will reject information that conflicts too dramatically with existing beliefs. The key is to introduce new ideas gradually, in a way that feels safe and believable to your subconscious. Consider how advertising works. The most effective ads don't try to convince you through logic. They create emotional associations. They tell stories. They make you feel something. They bypass your rational mind and speak directly to your subconscious. This is why a car commercial doesn't just list features and specifications. It shows you how you'll feel driving the car. It associates the product with freedom, success, attractiveness, or adventure. It plants seeds in your subconscious that influence your behavior long after you've forgotten seeing the ad. Financial reprogramming works similarly. Instead of simply stating, "I am wealthy," effective sleep programming tells your subconscious stories about abundance. It creates new emotional associations with money. It gradually shifts your identity from someone who struggles financially to someone who naturally attracts wealth. The key is repetition and emotional engagement. Your subconscious learns through pattern recognition. When it encounters the same message repeatedly, especially when that message is emotionally charged, it begins to accept it as truth. But there's another crucial element: belief congruence. Your subconscious will reject messages that feel too far from your current reality. If you currently earn $30,000 per year, telling your subconscious, "I earn $300,000 per year," will likely be rejected as false. Instead, effective programming introduces incremental shifts. It might start with, "I am open to earning more, money flows to me easily and naturally," or "I deserve financial abundance." These statements feel possible to your subconscious, creating openings for larger shifts over time. Dr. Bruce Lipton's research shows that the subconscious mind is most receptive to change when it feels safe. If new beliefs threaten your existing identity or contradict deeply held values, your subconscious will resist them. But if they align with your values and feel achievable, they can be integrated relatively easily. This is why understanding your existing money programming is so important. You need to know what you're working with before you can change it. And the most effective changes honor your values while expanding your possibilities. Your subconscious mind also responds powerfully to imagery and metaphor. While your conscious mind thinks in words and logic, your subconscious thinks in pictures and feelings. This is why visualization is so effective for behavior change. When you imagine yourself living abundantly, not just having money, but feeling the emotions of abundance, You create neural pathways associated with that experience. Your brain begins to recognize abundance as familiar rather than foreign. It starts looking for opportunities to make that vision reality. But again, the timing matters. Visualization during normal waking consciousness can be helpful, but it's much more powerful during theta states. When your conscious mind isn't analyzing and judging, your subconscious can fully absorb and integrate new possibilities. This is the foundation of effective sleep programming. Understanding how your brain works during sleep, respecting the intelligence of your subconscious mind, and working with its natural patterns rather than against them. Section 3. Theta waves and subconscious access. Theta brain waves represent one of the most fascinating aspects of human consciousness. Operating between 4 and 8 Hz, theta frequency is the gateway between conscious and subconscious awareness. It's the state where transformation becomes possible. To understand theta waves, imagine your consciousness as an iceberg. The small portion above water represents your conscious awareness, your active thoughts, immediate perceptions, and deliberate decisions. The massive portion below the surface is your subconscious, containing your memories, beliefs, habits, and automatic responses. Most of the time, there's a clear boundary between these two levels. Your conscious mind operates in beta frequency, actively thinking and analyzing. Your subconscious runs in the background, executing programs and patterns you're not even aware of. But theta frequency creates a bridge between these levels. During theta states, your conscious mind relaxes its control without completely shutting down. This creates a unique window of opportunity. Your subconscious becomes more accessible to new information, while your conscious mind can still participate in the process. It's like having a conversation with parts of yourself that are usually silent. Children naturally spend much of their time in theta frequency. This is why they learn so quickly and why early experiences have such lasting impact. Their conscious minds haven't yet developed the filters and defenses that adults use to screen information. Everything goes directly into subconscious storage. As adults, we typically only enter theta during specific circumstances. Deep meditation, creative flow states, the moments just before sleep, and during REM cycles. But we can learn to access theta deliberately. And when we do, we can influence our subconscious programming. Dr. Elmer Green's research at the Menninger Foundation revealed that theta training could help people access unconscious material, enhance creativity, and even influence physical healing. Subjects who learned to produce theta waves reported increased intuition, better problem-solving abilities, and profound insights about their lives. What's particularly relevant for financial transformation is that theta states allow you to access and modify the core beliefs that drive your behavior. In normal consciousness, these beliefs operate automatically. You don't question them because you're not even aware of them. But in theta, they become visible and malleable. Think of it this way: your subconscious beliefs are like the operating system of a computer. Most of the time, you interact with applications and programs without thinking about the underlying code. But theta frequency gives you access to that code. You can examine it, understand it, and even rewrite it. The key to effective theta programming is understanding how your subconscious mind processes information. It doesn't think in words like your conscious mind does. It thinks in images, emotions, and sensory experiences. It responds to repetition, emotional intensity, and symbolic meaning. Your subconscious is also highly protective. It will reject information that seems threatening or impossible, but it will accept information that feels safe, believable, and aligned with your deeper values. This is why effective financial reprogramming must be carefully crafted. Consider how your current money beliefs were installed. They weren't created through logical analysis. They were absorbed through emotional experiences, repeated messages, and unconscious modeling. A child who repeatedly hears "we can't afford" that doesn't just learn about family finances. They absorb a worldview where scarcity is normal and wanting things is disappointing. To change these patterns, you need to work in the same language your subconscious understands. This means using imagery rather than just words. It means engaging emotions rather than just logic. It means telling new stories rather than just stating new facts. Effective theta programming for financial transformation might include visualizing yourself handling money with ease and confidence. It might involve imagining the feelings of security and freedom that come with abundance. It might include rewriting the stories you tell yourself about what you deserve and what's possible for people like you. But the crucial element is the theta state itself. Without accessing this frequency, your programming efforts will likely be processed by your conscious mind and either rejected or quickly forgotten. With theta access, new information can reach your subconscious and begin creating lasting change. There are several ways to access theta frequency. Progressive muscle relaxation can help your body and mind shift into this receptive state. Breathing techniques can alter your brainwave patterns. Certain types of music and sound frequencies can entrain your brain to theta rhythms. The transition into sleep naturally produces theta waves, which is why bedtime programming can be so effective. As you drift towards sleep, your conscious mind gradually releases control while your subconscious remains alert. This creates an ideal window for installing new beliefs and patterns. But you don't have to wait until bedtime. You can learn to access theta during meditation, visualization, or even during quiet moments throughout your day. The key is understanding what theta feels like and how to cultivate it deliberately. Theta consciousness often feels dreamy and flowing. Time seems to slow down or become irrelevant. Your inner voice becomes quieter while your intuition becomes stronger. You might experience vivid mental imagery or sudden insights. Your body feels relaxed and your breathing becomes slow and deep. In this state, your relationship with money can begin to shift at the deepest level. Instead of fighting against limiting beliefs, you can gently replace them with more expansive ones. Instead of forcing yourself to think differently, you can allow new patterns to emerge naturally. This is why theta-based financial reprogramming is so much more effective than traditional approaches. It works with your brain's natural patterns rather than against them. It speaks to your subconscious in its own language rather than trying to convince it through logic. The transformation happens gradually, often so subtly that you don't notice it at first. You might find yourself making different choices around money without knowing why. You might feel less anxiety about finances without trying to feel better. You might start noticing opportunities that were always there, but somehow invisible before. This is your subconscious mind executing new programming. And it all begins with understanding and accessing the theta frequency where real change becomes possible. Section 4. The Sleep Programming Protocol. Now that we understand the neuroscience behind subconscious reprogramming, let's explore how to implement an effective sleep programming protocol. This isn't about playing random affirmations while you sleep. It's about creating a systematic approach that works with your brain's natural patterns. Effective sleep programming begins long before you actually fall asleep. Your evening routine, your bedroom environment, your mental state as you prepare for sleep. All of these factors influence how receptive your subconscious will be to new programming. Think of your pre-sleep period as preparation for a delicate procedure. You're preparing to access and modify some of the deepest patterns in your psyche. This requires the right conditions, the right mindset, and the right approach. The first element is environmental preparation. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary that supports deep relaxation and theta state access. This means eliminating distractions, controlling temperature and lighting, and creating an atmosphere of safety and calm. Blue light from screens disrupts your brain's natural transition into sleep states. The stimulation keeps your mind in beta frequency when it should be shifting toward theta. This is why effective sleep programming requires a digital sunset, turning off screens at least an hour before your intended programming session. Instead of scrolling through your phone or watching television, use this time for gentle preparation activities. Light reading, journaling, meditation, or listening to calming music can help your brain begin its transition toward the theta frequency. The second element is physiological preparation. Your body and brain are intimately connected. When your body is tense or agitated, your mind will struggle to access the receptive states necessary for subconscious programming. Progressive muscle relaxation is particularly effective for this purpose. Starting with your toes and working upward, consciously tense, and then release each muscle group. This not only relaxes your body, but also helps your brain shift from active beta waves toward the more receptive alpha and theta frequencies. Breathing techniques can also facilitate this transition. The 4-7-8 breath pattern, inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 7, and exhaling for 8, activates your parasympathetic nervous system and encourages theta state access. Even a few minutes of this breathing can significantly enhance your receptivity to programming. The third element is psychological preparation. Your subconscious mind is more likely to accept new programming when it feels safe and unjudged. This means releasing the day's stress, forgiving yourself for any perceived failures, and approaching the programming session with openness rather than desperation. Many people approach subconscious programming with an energy of lack and urgency. They want to change because they're dissatisfied with their current situation. But this emotional state actually interferes with effective programming. Your subconscious responds better to feelings of safety, curiosity, and gentle intention. Before beginning your programming session, take a moment to acknowledge what's already working in your life. Express gratitude for your current circumstances, even if they're not yet where you want them to be. This creates an emotional foundation of abundance rather than scarcity. The fourth element is content preparation. What you program into your subconscious during sleep should be carefully chosen and personally meaningful. Generic affirmations are less effective than personalized statements that resonate with your specific situation and values. Begin by identifying the specific money beliefs you want to change. What patterns do you notice in your financial behavior? What emotions arise when you think about money? What stories do you tell yourself about what you deserve or what's possible for you? Once you've identified limiting patterns, create new statements that feel believable and expansive. Instead of "I am a millionaire," which your subconscious might reject as false, try "I'm open to receiving abundance in all forms," or "money flows to me easily and naturally." The language of subconscious programming should be positive, present tense, and emotionally engaging. Your subconscious doesn't process negatives well, so avoid statements like "I don't struggle with money." Instead, use "I handle money with ease and confidence." Present tense language is important because your subconscious experiences everything as happening now. Future tense statements, "I will be wealthy," keep abundance perpetually in the future. Present tense statements, "I am prosperous," begin creating that reality immediately. Emotional engagement is crucial because your subconscious responds more to feelings than to words. As you repeat your programming statements, connect with the emotions they represent. How would it feel to be financially free? How would it feel to make decisions from abundance rather than scarcity? The fifth element is timing and repetition. Your brain needs time to integrate new patterns. Effective sleep programming isn't a one-time event. It's a consistent practice that gradually reshapes your subconscious landscape. The optimal time for programming is during the transition into sleep, when your brain is naturally producing theta waves. This typically occurs 10-30 minutes after you lie down with the intention to sleep, depending on your individual patterns. During this window, repeat your chosen statements silently or listen to carefully crafted audio programming. The repetition should feel gentle and rhythmic, like a lullaby for your subconscious mind. You're not trying to force anything. You're simply offering new possibilities for your deeper mind to consider. Some people find it helpful to record their own programming statements in their own voice. Your subconscious is particularly receptive to your own voice, especially when it's speaking with love and encouragement. Record your statements with a calm, soothing tone, leaving pauses between each repetition. Others prefer professionally created programming that incorporates specific sound frequencies designed to enhance theta state access. Binaural beats, for example, can help entrain your brain to theta frequency by playing slightly different frequencies in each ear. The key is consistency rather than intensity. 15 to 20 minutes of gentle programming each night is more effective than occasional longer sessions. Your subconscious learns through repetition and pattern recognition, so regular practice is essential. The sixth element is integration and patience. Subconscious reprogramming is not an instant process. Your current money patterns were created over years or decades of repetition and emotional reinforcement. Changing them requires patience and trust in the process. Some people notice shifts within days or weeks of beginning sleep programming. Others require months of consistent practice before seeing significant changes. The timeline varies based on how deeply entrenched your current patterns are and how much resistance your subconscious has to change. Pay attention to subtle shifts rather than waiting for dramatic transformations. You might notice feeling less anxious about money, making different choices around spending, or simply thinking about finances in new ways. These small changes indicate that your programming is working at the deeper level. Remember that your subconscious mind is intelligent and protective. It won't accept changes that feel threatening or impossible, but it will gradually embrace new possibilities that feel safe and believable. Trust this process and allow changes to unfold naturally. The goal isn't to force your subconscious to accept new beliefs. The goal is to create conditions where new beliefs can take root and grow organically. Like planting seeds in fertile soil, you provide the right environment and then allow nature to take its course. Sleep programming is one of the most powerful tools available for transforming your relationship with money, but it requires understanding, patience, and consistent application. When done correctly, it can create profound and lasting changes that ripple through every aspect of your financial life. Section 5. Neuroplasticity and Belief Change. The human brain's capacity for change, neuroplasticity, represents one of the most hopeful discoveries in modern neuroscience. For decades, scientists believed that adult brains were essentially fixed, that the neural patterns established in childhood remained unchanged throughout life. We now know this is completely false. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on your thoughts, experiences, and behaviors. Every time you learn something new, every time you practice a skill, every time you think a thought, you're literally reshaping the physical structure of your brain. This means that no matter how deeply entrenched your money patterns might be, they can be changed. Dr. Norman Doidge's research on neuroplasticity reveals that the brain's ability to reorganize continues throughout life. Stroke victims can recover lost functions by training other parts of their brain to take over damaged areas. Musicians develop enlarged regions associated with their instruments. Taxi drivers in London show increased gray matter in areas related to spatial navigation. This same plasticity applies to your financial beliefs and behaviors. The neural pathways that create your current money patterns can be weakened through disuse, while new pathways are strengthened through repetition and emotional engagement. Think of your brain as a landscape of paths. Your current money beliefs are like well-worn highways, easy to travel because you've used them so many times. Changing these beliefs requires creating new paths while allowing the old ones to become overgrown from disuse. But here's what's crucial. The brain changes most readily during specific states, and one of the most powerful states for neuroplastic change is the theta frequency we naturally enter during sleep and deep relaxation. Dr. Joe Dispenza's work on meditation and brain change shows that when people enter theta states regularly, they can literally rewire their brains within weeks. Brain scans reveal increased gray matter in areas associated with learning and memory, decreased activity in regions linked to stress and anxiety, and stronger connections between different brain regions. This neuroplastic change isn't just theoretical. It translates into measurable changes in behavior, emotion, and perception. People report feeling different, thinking different thoughts, and making different choices without consciously trying to change. The key is understanding how to facilitate this natural rewiring process. Your brain doesn't change randomly. It changes according to specific principles that you can learn to work with. The first principle is attention. Your brain strengthens whatever you pay attention to and weakens what you ignore. If you constantly focus on financial lack, you strengthen neural networks associated with scarcity. If you regularly contemplate abundance, you strengthen networks associated with prosperity. But attention alone isn't enough. The second principle is emotional engagement. Your brain prioritizes information that carries emotional weight. Neutral thoughts create weak neural connections, while emotionally charged thoughts create strong ones. This is why traumatic experiences often have such lasting impact. They're emotionally intense, so they create deep neural imprints. But you can use this same principle positively by associating strong positive emotions with new financial beliefs. The third principle is repetition. Your brain learns through pattern recognition. Single experiences, no matter how intense, rarely create lasting change. But repeated experiences, even mild ones, can gradually reshape your neural landscape. This is why sleep programming can be so effective. By repeatedly exposing your brain to new financial concepts during receptive theta states, you gradually strengthen new neural pathways while weakening old ones. The change happens slowly and naturally, without the resistance that often accompanies forced change. The fourth principle is belief. Your brain is more likely to wire new patterns when it believes they're possible and beneficial. If you try to install beliefs that feel impossible or threatening, your brain will resist the change. But if new beliefs feel achievable and aligned with your values, your brain will readily adopt them. Dr. Bruce Lipton's research reveals that belief is so powerful, it can actually change gene expression. When people truly believe they can heal, their bodies often respond accordingly. When they believe they're doomed, their physiology often reflects that belief as well. The same principle applies to financial beliefs. When you truly believe abundance is possible for you, your brain begins looking for evidence to support that belief. When you believe scarcity is your natural state, your brain filters information to confirm that perspective. This is why effective sleep programming must be carefully crafted to feel believable to your subconscious mind. You can't jump from "I never have enough money" to "I'm a millionaire" overnight. But you can gradually shift from scarcity to sufficiency to abundance through incremental belief changes. The fifth principle is consistency. Neuroplastic change requires sustained effort over time. Your brain needs repeated exposure to new patterns before they become automatic. This is why occasional positive thinking has little lasting impact, while consistent mental practices can create profound transformation. Sleep programming provides an ideal opportunity for this consistency. Every night, as your brain naturally enters Theta frequency, you can gently reinforce new financial patterns. Over weeks and months, these repeated exposures create lasting neural changes. But consistency doesn't mean rigidity. Your brain responds well to variation within consistent themes. Instead of repeating exactly the same affirmations every night, you might vary the language while maintaining the same core messages about abundance and worthiness. The sixth principle is integration. Lasting change requires new neural patterns to be integrated with existing brain networks. Isolated changes often don't persist because they're not connected to your broader sense of identity and purpose. This is why effective financial reprogramming addresses not just money beliefs, but the deeper patterns of self-worth, identity, and values that underlie them. When new financial beliefs align with your core sense of who you are, they become stable and enduring. Your brain is constantly seeking coherence, consistency between your beliefs, emotions, and behaviors. When new financial patterns align with your values and identity, your brain readily adopts them. When they conflict with deeper beliefs, your brain resists them. Understanding neuroplasticity gives you tremendous power over your financial future. Your current money patterns, no matter how limiting, are not permanent features of your personality. They're simply neural pathways that can be changed through the right approach. The key is working with your brain's natural change processes rather than against them. This means using theta states for programming, engaging emotions along with thoughts, maintaining consistency over time, and ensuring that new beliefs feel believable and integrated with your deeper values. Your brain wants to help you succeed. It's constantly adapting to serve your goals and intentions. When you understand how to communicate with it effectively, through theta programming, emotional engagement, and consistent practice, it becomes your most powerful ally in creating financial transformation. The neural pathways that currently limit your financial success can be rewired. The beliefs that keep you stuck can be replaced. The patterns that create struggle can be transformed into patterns that create abundance. All of this is possible through the remarkable capacity of your brain to change itself. Summary. As we reach the end of our exploration into sleep-based financial reprogramming, let's synthesize what we've discovered about the remarkable capacity of your mind to transform your relationship with money while you sleep. We began with Sarah, the 7-year-old girl whose financial destiny was shaped by a single moment at a kitchen table. Her story illustrates a profound truth. Your current money patterns aren't the result of conscious choice or character flaws. They're the product of subconscious programming installed during your most impressionable years. This programming operates below the threshold of conscious awareness, influencing 95% of your financial decisions through automatic patterns and emotional responses. Traditional approaches to financial change often fail because they target the conscious mind while leaving subconscious patterns intact. But we've also discovered something hopeful. These patterns can be changed. The same neuroplasticity that allowed your brain to absorb limiting beliefs in childhood continues throughout your life. The same theta frequency that made you receptive to programming as a child can be accessed as an adult for reprogramming. Sleep represents a unique opportunity for this transformation. During the transition into sleep, your brain naturally enters theta frequency, while your subconscious remains alert and receptive. This creates an ideal window for installing new beliefs about money, wealth, and abundance. The key is understanding that your subconscious mind is intelligent and protective. It won't accept changes that feel threatening or impossible, but it will gradually embrace new possibilities that feel safe, believable, and aligned with your deeper values. Effective sleep programming requires careful preparation, creating the right environment, relaxing your body and mind, and crafting messages that speak to your subconscious in its own language of imagery, emotion, and story. It requires consistency over time, allowing new neural pathways to strengthen while old ones weaken through disuse. Most importantly, it requires patience and trust in the process. Subconscious change happens gradually, often so subtly that you don't notice it at first. You might find yourself making different choices, feeling different emotions, or thinking different thoughts about money without conscious effort. The neuroscience is clear. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on repeated thoughts, emotions, and experiences. When you consistently expose your subconscious to new financial possibilities during receptive theta states, you gradually reshape the neural landscape that determines your financial reality. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful fantasy. It's about working with your brain's natural patterns to create lasting change at the deepest level. It's about recognizing that your current financial limitations aren't permanent features of your personality. They're simply patterns that can be transformed. Remember that your subconscious mind has been faithfully executing the programming it received decades ago. It's not sabotaging you. It's protecting you based on the information it was given when you were most vulnerable and impressionable. But you're no longer that vulnerable child. You have the knowledge, tools, and capacity to rewrite those early programs. You can honor the protective intention of your subconscious while gently updating its instructions for your current life and goals. The 7-year-old version of you absorbed messages about money from a world of limited perspective and often fearful adults. The adult version of you can choose new messages based on expanded awareness and unlimited possibility. Every night, as you prepare for sleep, you have an opportunity to plant new seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. These seeds of abundance, worthiness, and financial ease can take root and grow, gradually transforming your inner landscape and, ultimately, your outer reality. Your relationship with money was programmed. It can be reprogrammed. The same brain that learned to expect scarcity can learn to expect abundance. The same mind that absorbed limiting beliefs can absorb expansive ones. The choice is yours. The tools are available. The science is proven. All that remains is the gentle, consistent practice of speaking to your subconscious mind in the language it understands during the states when it's most receptive to change. As you drift towards sleep tonight and in the nights to come, remember that you're not just resting your body, you're accessing one of the most powerful states for transformation available to human consciousness. Use this time wisely. Use it intentionally. Use it to rewrite the financial story that has been running in the background of your mind for far too long. Your future self will thank you for the seeds you plant tonight. Otron. Whether you listened to this entire exploration with full attention or allowed it to play in the background while your conscious mind wandered, your subconscious has been absorbing these concepts. The frequencies woven throughout this audio have been gently encouraging your brain toward the Theta state, where real change becomes possible. The information you've received tonight isn't just intellectual knowledge. It's a blueprint for transformation that your deeper mind can implement while you sleep. The understanding of how your financial programming was created gives you the power to recreate it according to your current values and aspirations. As you continue your journey of financial transformation, remember that change happens in layers. Each night of data programming adds another layer of new possibility. Each morning brings subtle shifts in how you think, feel, and act around money. Trust the process. Trust your brain's remarkable capacity for change. Trust that the seeds you plant in your subconscious mind will grow into the financial reality you desire. Sleep well, dream abundantly, and wake tomorrow with a mind slightly more programmed for prosperity than it was today. Long pause, sweet dreams.